Yes, good afternoon and good evening and good morning, wherever you are, vinyl lovers. This is Uncle Roddus again here with might quite possibly be going for the record of the most number of pieces of vinyl shown in the shortest matter of time, but who knows. Tell you what happened was a friend contacted me over the weekend and said there was a the museum in Canterbury and Christchurch were putting on a display in commemoration of 40 years of student radio in the city. The student radio station RDU was initially started in 1976 and had been a big influence on me personally in my younger days. You know, listened to them a lot as opposed to the commercial radio stations that were happening around at the time. And so we went along to this display. It was very impressive, lots of old records on display from their collection, some quite rare vinyl lathe cut records that they had produced over the last couple of years. The station itself is actually privately owned now, it's not actually attached to the university per se. My understanding is it was purchased by a private company back about 10 years ago. Yeah, so a lot of change, but it's still, yeah. I haven't listened to it because I can't get it out here. I'm too far away from the city. But anyway, so what happened was we were talking about records, and he'd been asking me what I'd been up to, and I mean he had. Last time I'd seen him, he actually came around one night and we'd spent some time listening to my new hi-fi system, but it was just before I got the turntable from memory. So then, you know, that was last year, and I remembered he had quite a stack of records, and he said, look, I'll dig out the boxes out of the shed, they're just sitting there collecting dust, not doing anything. He said, you're welcome to have a look at them. So he dug out 2 boxes with possibly, I don't know, 100, 150 records, and we loaded them into my car, and we went through them when I got home, and I sorted out all the ones that were of no interest to me. I mean, there was a real mix of stuff, some classical, some modern pop stuff from sort of 20 years ago that my partner was quite interested in, and some of the classical she was interested in. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Some of it was in pretty rough nick. Anyway, so I went through and basically selected what interested me and have been spinning and cleaning these for the last couple of days. I still haven't got through cleaning them all, but some of them I'll have to show that I haven't even looked at. Some of them I had a look at them and the records were warped, it wouldn't play, so I've had to shelf those and throw them away, so I'm not going to show those ones. But so just really quickly, these first pile are the ones that I haven't yet cleaned. I'm hoping that they're all still a good playable condition. They all look reasonably good. Double LP, is it double LP? No, yes it is. Double LP, greatest hits of Donovan. Quite like some of his stuff. JJ Cale record. What's it called? Travelogue, 1989. Not familiar with it. Need to do some work on the cover by the looks of it. A reasonably rough looking copy of the band's last waltz record, one I don't have, so that'd be quite interesting. Another JJ Cale record, 1974, so this is a really old one. I've got a newer one and an older one. Okie Okie, compilation of Neil Young, Suzanne Vega, Solitude Standing, with the track Luca on it, which I'm quite familiar with. So it'd be quite interesting to have a listen to that. Ry Cooder, Bop Till You Drop. When was this released? This was the 80s, was it? Can't find a date. Anyway, so I mean, I'm slightly familiar with Ry Cooder, but I haven't heard a lot of his stuff, so I'd be interested to see what that is. Stranglers, Feline album. Haven't heard this one. This is their later stuff. I didn't really get into them later. This is 1982. By that stage they'd sort of moved on musically quite a bit. I'm actually not familiar with any of the tracks on there. I mean, I recognise the album. I have no idea what this is going to be like. This is Marilyn. I mean, I've heard of them, seen their records around. This is from 1985. Romeo Void, I knew that he had this in his collection from years ago. I remembered it well. Never Say Never was a great song. Not sure what the rest of the album's like. He seemed to remember that it wasn't particularly that great. This is from 1982. There was a few blues in this collection. This one here, I actually used to have a copy of this, I think, years ago. This one here could be quite interesting. This is actually from 1976. Hollies sing Bob Dylan. When the ship comes in, I'll be your baby tonight. I want you. Mr. Zorn in the background here getting a bit excited. Just Like a Woman, Mighty Quinn. Mighty Quinn, wasn't that the one they had a hit cover with? Yep, anyway. And Peter, Paul and Mary in Concert. This looks like it's a double LP as well. I actually picked up another record of theirs at a thrift shop and I quite enjoyed it. So that'll be interesting. Don't know what the year of release is for this one. I have to do more research on that one. It's definitely a New Zealand issue. Looks reasonably old, but anyway. And Johnny Clegg and Savuka. Third World Child. When was this released? 19 blah blah. Can't find a year on it. Okay, we'll carry on. Got plenty to get through. Paul McCartney. This is the highlights from Tripping the Light. Fantastic. It's a live album. It's pretty much all Beatles versions of Beatles songs. Apart from Coming Up, I think. Pretty much the rest of it's all Beatles. Haven't had a listen to this. I did read a review. It wasn't a particularly strong review. Roxy Music. This one's a bit warped, but it does play. Again, I've seen that record around over many years, but never actually heard it. Another Romeo Void record. This was their last album, pretty much before they disbanded. This one was interesting. Bread and Roses. This is a compilation record, live kind of folk, for a organisation called Bread and Roses, who were a charity organisation raising money for people in prisons or something like that. Proceeds from the album to help provide operating funds, ongoing community services to institutionalised audiences. Anyway, there's people like Hoyt Axton, John Hammond, Graham Nash is on here, Crosby, David Crosby's on here, Joan Baez, Peter Seeger, Chick Corea. So quite an interesting lineup actually. I haven't had a listen. I listened to one side of it. He actually had 2 copies of this in the box. Haven't heard it before, but I am familiar with a couple of tracks on it, and it sounds pretty cool. Plays really well. Oh, this one absolutely blew me out. I mean, I knew this album very well. I have it on CD, and used to have it on vinyl, but it's great to have a vinyl copy again, and just absolutely, soul to soul. I mean, what can you say? That's just awesome stuff. Now, the Talking Heads is a good one. Everyone knows that one. There's a guy, Matt Johnson, I think his name was, from the Soul Mine. Great album. This Is the Day is is an awesome song. I absolutely love it. I actually have this on CD already. Great album, Fabulous Thunderbirds. I used to have a tape copy of this, I think many years ago, that I taped off someone. This is from the late 80s, I think. 86, yeah, I remember that when I was first getting into the blues. A playable but slightly beat up copy of B-52s. Obviously seen a lot of parties in the younger days, but still great to hear it on vinyl. Another one I think I actually may have had a copy of when I was younger, Visages. Not their 1980 album. I think they had another album out as well after that. B.B. King, great B.B. King. Don't know whether this is a compilation or not. I think, don't know. Brucey, again, I've got it on CD. Hated it when it first came out, quite like it now. Mrs. really enjoyed it. We had it cranked up over the weekend. Glad to pick up this. Led Zeppelin, actually. Haven't played it, but the vinyl cleaned up nicely. Looks pretty good. I actually bought the reissue, the deluxe reissue 2-vinyl set last year, and then absolutely destroyed the first volume by dropping a chair on it while it was on the floor. It was actually lying on the floor, and I was looking it up on Discogs to see which version I had, and stood up, dropped the stool on it, and just gouged it. So basically trashed that. So that's cool to have that. Another classic, Talking Heads, 77. A nice Aretha Franklin, that's really good to have. I mean, I've got most of the music on here on CD on her sets, but that's cool. And probably the score of the box is another copy of Kaleidoscope Wheel by the Chills. Yep, absolutely. That's a Flying Nun. And it plays, I mean, it looks a bit rough on the surface, but it actually plays perfectly without too much surface noise. Very rough copy of Coney Island Baby by Lou Reed. Had a listen to this. Interesting. Might take a wee bit, sort of funny sort of English. Considering I'm reading a book about Lou Reed, that was pretty cool. This was really great to score out of the box. This plays quite well. I used to have this on vinyl years ago. Really cool compilation. Absolutely love it. I mean, I do have some of the other stuff on CD. This again, another Pink Floyd compilation from the 1980s. Used to have it again. Used to have it on vinyl, so nice to have a copy. Both of those are clean and play well. This one here again is pretty clean and plays well. Pity didn't have the other one to go with it, but that's cool. I mean, I do have it on CD, but never mind. Vinyl's great. This one I have on CD. Haven't played it yet. Vinyl looks clean, but it'd be really cool to hear it on vinyl compared to CD. Another blues record, 3 LP set on Music World with Lightning Hopkins, John Lee Hooker, B.B. King, Big Bill Bruesney, Howlin' Wolf, and Jerry Mulligan and Jimmy Witherspoon. Jerry Mulligan, interesting. Yeah, I had to listen to some of that. It's a nice clean record, plays well. This one really was really cool, it intrigued me. Nina Simone, I mean, she's a well-known, obviously famous singer. Blues album, 1966. Really nice music. She's a great singer. Unfortunately, I think it's been played to death, and it's got a bit of surface noise, but more than not, I think the grooves are just about getting a bit worn on it, and it started to sound a little bit distorted. Still was playable and listenable, so I'm not too, at least I got to hear it. And then finally, this one. This is actually one of the picks of the bunch. This Neil Young Decades, again, it's another one I've got on CD already, but nice to hear it on vinyl, and the vinyl is almost pristine condition, surprisingly, considering some of the other records that he had are pretty bad. So here we go, that's a damn big pile. Basically, free records from a mate. He wants me to do a little job for him at home in his garage, which I'm more than happy to do for that lot. And that's probably about 1/3 of the records he gave us. Like I say, there's actually a big pile over there. My partner's pile is about slightly smaller than that, which she picked out of that stuff that she liked, which is probably his wife's collection. But yeah, they were more than happy to part with them. They said that you can have them. They're going to a good home, and said I hope that they're okay. And yeah, fortunately, having a good record cleaner helps and clean them up nicely and playing nicely. There is a Laurie Anderson album in there. It was part of a box set of 5 albums live in the 1980s, which he's going to see if he can find it. So there may be another box of records coming yet. So anyway, there we go. A hell of a lot of records in a fairly short time. Hope that you enjoyed that. Thank you. We'll see you again next time.